Today I want to talk about notching. Specifically, I want to look at the notching of two nappers here. Napper number one, you can see, has demonstrated pretty nice notching. Dog legs, deep notches, E-notches, narrow notches. It's pretty nice notching all around. Napper number two, well, does it look familiar? Yeah, we've all been there, struggled with getting those notches to go deep to prevent the ears from blowing off. So that's what we want to talk about. But in case you're wondering who the nappers are, napper number one is me. And as much as I hate to admit it, napper number two is me also. This was stuff I did a few years back when I was really struggling with my notching. But I've learned a thing or two and I want to share it with you. Alright, let's take a quick look at the tool, the all-important notching tool. Here it is, and as you can see, it's pretty sophisticated. Yeah, actually it's a section of broom handle, and the bit is a common mild steel nail that I hammered flat on an anvil and then filed to a square screwdriver-like tip. Now you're probably wondering, why not copper? Well, that's a good question, and the answer is coming right up. Alright, I'm going to notch while I talk here. You're not going to be able to see much in this sequence just because of the scale we're working on, but I have some visual aids I'm going to get out here to help you see what's actually happening. Anyway, the copper versus the nail. The reason a nail works better than copper is because a nail is a bit harder than copper. And when you get in a restricted area like a notch, the copper tool deforms more than the nail, and it diffuses the energy. And the nail brings focus to the energy. It's kind of like isolating your platform. It's bringing all the energy to bear in one spot to get that flake removal. That's what we're doing here with the nail. That's why it works better than copper. Now you can see I've walked this notch back in, just a minute or so. And all I'm doing is just popping out little cones back and forth, one side then the other side. Now I'm going to grab a larger piece here to better illustrate what I mean. Okay, this is a big obsidian. It's really just a preform, but I deliberately left it thick for two reasons. One, to show you that you can notch very thick points if you want to. And secondly, it does illustrate my point a little bit better because it is thicker. You can see right here the cone-shaped scar that is left after each flake removal. That's key. The Hertzian cone. The Hertzian cone is a flint napper's very best friend, other than maybe a backhoe to help you dig your rock. Here's another example. This is just a flint preform that, well, something happened I didn't like, so I just use it as a notching practice piece. But again, you can see this is kind of highlighted right here, how each one of these, there's a very distinct cone that pops out. And if you don't know what a Hertzian cone is, Google it. Alright, you don't have to Google it. Here it is. This is an actual Hertzian cone. This is one I popped out of a piece of flint for you to see, along with the corresponding diagram showing the angle of force. Keep this in mind when you're notching. Alright, are you ready for this? Check this out. I'll bet you never saw one of these. This is an agatized polystyrene point, and I'm going to use it to show you what I'm talking about. Alright,
Comrades, you must pay very close attention. If you do not pay attention, you will be sent to flint-knapping gulag and will be forced to flint-knap for state, no?
Okay, I'll quit fooling around and get serious. Okay, I'm going to cover 2 points here quick. And actually these are 2 common mistakes that most knappers make when they approach their notching. And I am an expert on common mistakes because I so commonly make them. First one is the angle. Most of us guys, we get real programmed in our pressure flaking. We're all aware of the importance of our center line and the importance of setting up our platform below that center line on the edge. Okay? When it comes to notching now, we're not worried about the edge, setting our platform on the edge, nor are we worried about extending our flakes. We're always approaching our pressure flaking from that standpoint. We want to extend those flakes. We don't have to worry about that here, okay? So, number 1, we come in from a very steep angle, we build up pressure, and equally as important is where we place our tool. We do not place it on the edge, we place it above the edge but slightly below the center line. Okay, the result is we build up force and we pop out a flake or a cone out the bottom, and it removes a fairly large amount of mass in a very small area. So what that does now is sets us up. This bulb or flake scar becomes the platform for our next flake removal on the other side. We simply flip it over. You can trim out, just little sharp remnants of that platform, and we do the same thing. We establish where our center line is, and then we place our tool slightly below that center line but above the edge. Pop another flake out. It's just back and forth. It is like stitching a square edge. Same principle. Okay? So, when we do that, we just go back. It's a very repetitive exercise, but by doing that and sticking to that principle, you can walk those notches in pretty much as deep as you want them to be. And you say when the notch is done, the notch doesn't tell you when it's done. And I don't know about you, but I like that. One more notching problem. You got a nice point or preform completed. You're ready to notch it. But how do you get better at notching without risking this? We've all seen way too many of these. Or in this case, a little T-Rex that I decapitated. Yeah, it happens. But I got the solution. Let's get rid of this stuff. Here's the solution, guys. Right there. Waste flakes. Save your percussion waste flakes. That's your practice material. When you get in a notching mood, grab a waste flake, your notcher, and just notchity, notchity, notchity. You make a mistake, you only break a flake. No big deal. But you're going to gain skill and confidence, and notching is going to become big time fun. And that's what it should be. So, this is the way I do it. I hope it helps you. Thanks for listening.